Pond 5. Pond 5. Pond 5. Pond 5.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us in this week's For the Love of Email Thursday's episode. Right. This week we are going to be talking about how do you win the game of email deliverability in 2022 in a time when due to COVID, most of the world is thinking of moving from offline to online. It has become more and more important that one takes care of email deliverability because that is what ultimately decides the ROI on your email campaign. So for our today's session, I'll be hosting this session along with my colleague Hitesh. So I'm Ganesh. I work as product manager with Netcore Cloud, and Hitesh is a software engineer. Also works. Hitesh is also a software engineer who works in Netcore Cloud. Right. So we'll quickly
Thanks,
move.
Ganesh, for the introduction.
We'll quickly move to the main topic. So why deliverability matters? So we'll first start with the basics, right? That why it is important to basically make efforts and spend your time, and why email marketers should make sure to spend their attention and time to address the deliverability issues. So very simply stating, there are globally around 300 billion emails that are sent per day, and more than half of those emails are spam mails. So it is very important for an ISP and an MSP basically to make sure that they're able to filter these spam messages and only relevant emails that are actually of use for the end user, they land in the user's inbox. Hence, they have a very strict policy of trying to filter emails that appear to be fishy in content, or they are not actually requested by the end user. So deliverability is what makes your email land up in your end customer's inbox. And as we all know, that is the main aim of every email program. If your emails are not landing in, can you just give me 1 second? I'm so sorry for the interruption. So basically, if our emails are not landing in the user's inbox, you are not going to see a good open rate, and hence you're not going to get sufficient returns on your investment. So email deliverability is what lets you basically the true goal of email deliverability is to get good inbox placement, right? And this is what we'll go deep into. So what are the factors overall that generally affect email deliverability? So there are many. There's a long list of factors that influence how your inboxing happens. But basically, we'll go through some main key issues. So the first one is domain reputation. So the domain that you're using to send out your email campaigns, what is the reputation of that domain? How much, what volumes you have sent in the past? What kind of content has been shared from that domain in the past? That basically determines the domain reputation. It is very important that you keep a track of it, that your domain has good reputation and at all the listings, so that your emails keep landing in the inbox. Second important thing to look after is your IP. So if whether you're using a shared IP network or you're using a dedicated IP network, it is very important to make sure that those IP addresses are not listed in any block list, because as my colleague Hitesh will later explain, if by any chance your domain or your IP gets listed in these block lists, it affects your deliverability pretty badly. Now, what is the quality of the mailing list? That is third very important factor that will affect your inboxing. So what do you mean by quality of mailing list? So basically, are you regularly pruning your list? Have you made sure to remove subscribers who have not interacted with you for a very long time? That is something that not many marketers want to do, because that leads to shortening of our email list. But it's very important that, because if we keep sending emails to users who have not interacted with your emails for a long time, it appears for a machine, it appears to be a spam related content, and hence it is very important that you while you add new subscribers to your email list, you also keep removing those who have not been interacting with you for long. Now, the next thing that we need to worry about is content. Now, content has many small areas that we need to take care of, but largely what affects what we have to take care while thinking about content is, are we using a email creative that is very image heavy? What are the number of images that you are using? Is there any image that is very heavy and it will take a lot of time to load? Was the email that I've created, is it mobile first or is it desktop first? So these kinds of decisions have to be made very smartly, and these small changes actually go a very long way in improving your inboxing. And lastly, last main topic that we would cover is subject line. So subject line is something which basically makes your first impact or first impression with the end user, and hence we should spend a lot of time to be very sure of using a subject line that kind of invokes some emotion in the end user, or it is something that is desired by that user. So so these are broadly the large issues that affect email deliverability. We'll go into detail in some of those, and hence I'll ask my colleague Hitesh to pitch in. Over to you, Hitesh.
Thanks, Ganesh. Again, so we are talking. If I'm talking about block list, it is one of the most discussed topic around here. So I think I will just cut it short. So I think everybody knows what block list is. Basically, a service that maintains a list of IPs and domains that are considered as spam centers or of senders of the phishing emails. Like they are not considered as a good senders, right? Continuous spammings and kind of servers which send kind of a virus, emails embedded with virus or whatever. So these lists are actually quite crucial for the MSPs and service providers like ourselves to actually identify the potential kind of potential spammers or potential virus spreaders or whatever. So this is kind of quite a crucial list, and the problem is that once you get listed in this block list, it takes some time for you to actually get some idea of if you are listed. Like you will notice some kind of emails like not getting delivered, bounce backs, increase in spam, like your instead of inboxing, your email will go to the spam. So there are a lot of things that will happen, but it will happen not immediately, but quite some time, and you will it will till then it will stay into the list, right? And it's quite problematic because the longer it stays in it, the longer your domain name is tarnished, right? Its reputation is on. So that kind of thing you have to keep in mind. So according to our data, like 80% of the brands face the block list problem. So it's quite a huge number. So yeah, there are some remedies, like we can try some things like we can be quite on it, right? The first thing is quite on it. We have to be on it. We have to be continuously monitoring readily if your domain is in block list, because by the time you will know that your domain has it has done some damage, it will be some time, like it will be a long time, right? So it is important to be stay on it. Like you can use a service that will remind you, ping you if your domain is listed in the block list, right? Second case is if you get delisted, right? There is a process for delisting. Every site has every maintainer has it, and some provide a way to contact them, like submitting a form, and you can request for a delisting. But some services don't even do that. They just say that you maintain a clean email sending practice, and we will remove it already if the complaints are stopped from the system. So it's quite fringy, and you have to be on it because of that. And the third thing is that even if you get delisted, if you didn't fix the core issue might be anything. Like you have been sending email in bulk, and your domain age is less. Like you have a domain, when you have acquired a domain name in maybe 3 months or 2 months, and you're sending millions of mails like in 1 second without warm-ups, or you're sending some kind of emails through some kind of domain that is listed in spam. there are many ways that you are sending unwanted mails, or you're dragging your emails to the spam box. So there can be many ways, and if you don't fix that, it will again get listed into the blacklist and then further tarnish your reputation. So these are the points which you have to keep in mind before you are delisting and enlisting your blacklist. Yeah. Subject line is one of these things that is not entirely omitted by the marketers. It is considered, because marketers are smart enough to understand that people do see, the first thing is that they see subject line, right? The issue is that they don't go further than that. It is customizable. It can be used in many ways to entice the user to click on the email. So the first thing we want is to click the emails, right? And for according to our data, it is shown that 50% of users just see the email subject line. They don't even see the content. You just see the subject line and will just don't open it. They won't open it if you don't like the subject line. So well thought out and personalized email subject lines are a hero, like in the email sending domain. So what can we do? So there are several points we have addressed, which you can take in mind. First thing is to make it personalized. Personalization is the key in sending emails. By personalization, we mean that addressing the user by the name, because that's a personal. Maybe depending on the geographical area, maybe depending on what kind of group you are targeting, you can change the subject line according to them. So targeting a particular subject line to a particular individual or particular group of individual might lead to a better click rates, right? Other thing is that you can try to address the user's emotions. So by emotions, we mean that your email subject lines should arise some kind of incentive to click that subject email, right? Some kind of incentive, like for example, if you're sending in a subject line, you are sending that he is a 100 user, right? And you are sending him voucher or free coupon. So it's kind of a surprise, right? You're a 100 user and you don't know that you will get me a coupon. Maybe curiosity, something you know you have been nudging the user towards something and you don't actually fully explain it. You have to explain it once you open the email. He will know that. So that's curiosity. Urgency, like offer valid till now. We all have seen that urgency emails, right? 50% off, but for a limited period of time. So that kind of things. Subject line length. One of the things that we have to really keep in mind is subject line length matters a lot, because there are n number of devices, and there are most of the people open the mobiles on their own personal mobiles or tablets, right? They have small resolutions, they have small form factors in screen sizes, and a subject line do get clipped on that. And depending on each of the devices, your subject line may look different, right? It might look good on a paper, but once it gets to a certain device, it doesn't look as enticing as you saw it in fully on a desktop. So that thing. The email spam engines, right? They try to look for the all caps and kind of various fully multiple punctuation symbols for the emails, like text. You can say 3 to 4 exclamation sign, order now, whatever. So these are the certain kind of keywords, certain kind of ways you have sending the email subject lines, which can trigger some spam engines, not all, but some spam engines to just mark it as spam, because you have sent all subject line, all of the punctuations into a multiple punctuations in a single subject line. So that's not a good idea and doesn't look good. And the last thing we can say that when you are sending an email, a subject line should properly represent the email content inside it. So if you're sending a subject line which is a kind of clickbaity, like YouTube titles, you can say that when a person will click it, but that it will give you a wrong idea, right? He won't, or she won't open that email next time it would deliver into the inbox, and might also mark you as spam or unwanted email, junk mail. So that kind of thing you have to keep in mind. Next slide. Okay, so the email content is kind of a really vast topic, cannot be completed in a few minutes, but there are certain points which we have grasped, so it can help you writing a better email content. So first thing is that personalization, like we said in the subject line too, but subject line is limited to the personalization, right? But we can do more with the customer on depending upon the email templates. The template design can be changed upon the region. Like if there's a cool region, if you're an e-commerce company, you can target the customers depending on the product, depending on that region, or on that particular genre of people, particular culture they have. So there are many ways you can customize your mails. From the personal details, you can address them. You can be depending upon their birth date or whatever, you can just target particular certain type of products to them. Yeah, there are so many ways to do that, and depending on the creativity, right? So that thing, uh, the most thing that is overlooked from the email marketers is that they don't test uh, thoroughly. Like if they're sending an email and you just create a template and you see it and just give it a go and just send it to all the bulk mailers, bulk users. So the issue is that you haven't seen it how it is delivered, right? So the email might be broken on the certain systems, my certain devices might not look good. You imagine this kind of template, but on the certain users on a certain system or certain inboxes and softwares, it look different. The HTML doesn't render properly, so you have to check for that too. And there are certain services which provide that kind of thing, and you can check online for that. But you have to do that. It is really helps. Really helps with the delivery of the emails, right? Content styles in so email content is the king. Everything in every blogs, every kind of a thing which user reads, content is the kings, right? So here too, the content is the king. The how you present your information to the user, and the most of the emails which has to be kept little lightweight, right? It has to be kept lightweight. It is recommended that it has to be in KBs, and maybe not if your emails are touching a single MB, that it's not good. So using heavy images and using a lot of images and less text, it's not good. It's not a recommended practice, and a lot of image and less content might not get you as better delivery as a better content with some images, right? But before, like I've said, for testing, right? If you are testing, you can test for the mobile desktop, which bind to that, which also points to that thing that you have to test. Mobile view, desktop view, like you have to test for that. I have said it before, and there's a listings of phishing links. Like there are people who are using a certain kind of domains for phishing. Phishing means redirecting people to users to showing something else and redirecting them for collecting the personal information or whatever, basically for malicious intent. So there are some domains, and if you're using these domains into your email IDs, you will definitely be tagged into spam. So you have to check for that too in your email content. So we have discussed about all of these things like problems and solutions. We have tried to give some solutions. So what else you can do? What else is there? Anything else you can do? So for that, my colleague Ganesh will explain you better in a clear way. So Ganesh, back to you.
Thank you so much, Hitesh. So in Netcore, as we have discussed before, in Netcore we believe in a culture of sharing information and helping other email marketers out. So what we have done here is we have built a tool which is called Grade My Email, which is a free tool available for everyone, which is your one-stop solution for all email problems. So if your emails are landing in spam, you're having authentication problems, or any of the problems that are listed here, so in SPF issues, DKIM issues, or you just generally want to understand about the email marketing space, you want to read blogs and understand how different configurations are made, why your DMARC needs to be configured properly, what is SPF, why it is important to authenticate it properly. All these questions are also answered through blogs, and there are different tools that basically allow you to test and validate everything that you want to try out in your email campaign. And the best part is the tool is freely available. So what we'll do now is we'll just quickly go through 2 or 3 main features that we have in the tool. So first we'll see a block list checker tool. Here, basically, you can either enter your domain, as you can see here in the example, which is example.com, or you can enter your IP address. And what this tool will tell you is if any of these things are basically listed in any of the block lists that are maintained. So as Hitesh mentioned, there are more than 100 organizations that maintain these block lists basis your past behavior. If they feel that you have sent some spammy content, so this tool will tell you if you are listed anywhere, and will also give you the option to delist. So it will walk you through the steps that are needed to delist. And since it is important to be on top of this particular issue, there's also an option to schedule alerts, which will send you weekly and monthly updates on what is the status of your domain and IP. So you can set up these alerts in the tool, and you will get these for free. The second feature that we look at is the email tester tool. So basically, this is the most comprehensive tool that we have. Either to get started, either you have to send an email to this particular ID, or you can just download the email file and upload it to the tool, and it will analyze the full email body for you, starting from the subject to the images that you have loaded to the links that you have used. It will give you recommendations how you can improve on the same. And lastly, there are two features that we are going to launch in our new year update. So we'll just give a quick overview of those two also. So first is the subject line generator. So again, as we discussed before, that subject line is something that basically makes or breaks your email campaigns, because it is the first thing that the end user sees. What we have done is we have analyzed like thousands of email subject lines that are sent through Netcore, and we have figured out a way to improve your subject lines basically. So for example, if somebody would use this subject line, which is Diwali offer up to 60% off, uh, our AI bot Raman tells us that this has a score of 43 out of 100. And what it is also doing is it is recommending you how you can improve, what other phrases you can use that will help you improve your subject line score, which will in turn lead to better inboxing. So you can also look at other parameters as length, scannability, how comprehensive the subject line, everything is also covered. And the last, but probably the most important offering that we have in our tool is basically the inbox placement rate. So this is the key number which you would want to track always. So as you can see in this example, basis on a particular domain, what we are telling you is what is the inboxing percentage for Yahoo, Outlook, and Gmail in this example here. And as you can see in the options above, you can track whether it is for one day, one day performance, weekly performance, or monthly performance. It depends on you. This is an offering that is generally available at a very high price, and through this tool, through this Grade My Email tool, we are basically making it available for everyone to be used. Lastly, we'll just quickly talk about so there's one of a kind event that is happening, which is sponsored by Netcore Cloud, which offers a unique opportunity for marketers to network with the marketing industry leaders and learn from the experiences of the top brand. So you can register for this 3-day event by going at the link mentioned in the slide. It's a 3-day event from December 14 to December 16. As we approach towards the end of the first season of For the Love of Emails, please don't forget to register for our final episode next week. That is December 16th, 6 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Our listeners can now send in questions. There are actually a couple of questions that are already there, which we'll now take ahead. So Hitesh, you want to answer these questions?
So, is it compulsory to have a custom IP or domain, or can I use a shared IP? Okay.
Yes.
So it's not compulsory for you to use in a custom IP. You can use normal IPs, but there's no issue in it. But you can send mails. But if you are sending around 10,000 emails per day, that's okay. But if your emails are touching around million, near to million, so it will be better to use custom IP, because it propagates. Like if by chance, like you are using if you're using a good service provider, email service provider, it's okay. It's their job to maintain that cleanliness in the server IPs. But even with that, you have to be careful, right? You have to be careful that if you're sending over 1 million email, that means that you have considerable amount of reputation for sending that amount of email. So you don't want to tarnish it. You cannot just change the email after that. If you're sending low amount of emails, you can change that. You can do that quickly. But if the number is really large, so yeah, that's a problem. So I think for a large amount of emails, if you're sending that, you should use custom IP. It's not mandatory for any here, but it's a preventive measure, right? It's a preventive measure for a really large amount of for your domain reputation, and if you're sending a large amount of emails per day. The second one is, can emojis and special characters affect the email open rates? So that it's kind of flimsy to answer this, but different sites and different statistics says different things about these smileys. These smileys do give your email subject and a character in one touch. It is good to use it. It's not recommended to use smileys, but for the amount of open rates you will get, for the amount of activity you will get, it depends on, the kind of campaigns you are running, and depends on the, user. And there is no definitive answer if it will, how much amount of percentage it will give you open click rates, but it will definitely up a bit. It will be definitely up your click rates a bit, but for how much margin, it depends upon, right, again, the person, the demographic. And like if you're sending really serious emails, like shouldn't use the emojis. But if you're marketing things, in marketing you can use this, uh, selling your product. Like if you're sending statistics, you can use statistics email emojis. But yeah, it is good to use, but there's no definite, I cannot definitely say it will, how much amount it will improve your open rates. It will quite bit increase up a bit, I guess. um, are there any offerings in my email? Can you answer, Ganesh, this one? Are there any other offerings in my email?
So we have many other tools also built in with Grade My Email. What we showed you are basically the three main offerings that are there. So with the email tester and the subject line tester. But basically, as we mentioned before, there are a lot of tutorials that are available at Grade My Email, which can help you learn about any particular area of email deliverability that you want to understand. Also, if you want to it can give you a complete health report of your domain, and in that you can see whether your settings are properly configured, your DNS settings, your DMARC settings are properly configured, and if not, there are links through following which you can get all these problems solved for yourself. If you want to read about BIMI and you want to configure BIMI, there's a tool that we have for BIMI which will help you which will help you implement BIMI basically, and also help you understand how BIMI helps with the overall inbox percentage improvement. So there are a lot of other exciting tools, small tools that are there. We have largely covered the main ones. We would highly recommend and request our users to go to grademyemail.co and share their feedback with us if they have any comments and anything. We are coming up with exciting features, as we mentioned, the inbox placement rate and the subject line generator by the coming new year. So if there are no other questions, I think we can wrap up.